What if everything you know about your favorite childhood show was a lie? Let's uncover the bizarre truth.
So, as I've said many times over the years, I'm cool with Disney because it was seen as more like a family-friendly, safer. Not like those weird, demented Nickelodeon shows like iCarly. So that means pretty much every Nickelodeon show is a huge blind spot for me. I only watched iCarly and Victorious for the first time years ago when I first made videos about them. You know, before everyone else jumped in and started making 15-hour documentaries. Now, I've done a ton of Disney Channel shows on here, and I try to get to Nickelodeon when I can, but one show I get asked about a lot is Nicky Ricky Dicky and Dawn. This show lasted for 4 seasons from 2014 to 2018. It was apparently pretty popular, so I figured it was time to give it a watch. Come along, kids. Let's take a walk and check out Nicky Ricky Dicky and Dawn. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Infinity Nicky. Okay, so you know how like every YouTuber starts their ads and they're always like, I am totally so excited to tell you about this thing I totally definitely use all the time. Well, this time, I really mean it, okay? I've been looking forward to Infinity Nicky for a long time. Like, okay, seriously, if anything I've shown you here sounds or looks remotely appealing, download this game right now, use code INGIFTS1205, and start having a magical time. Okay, back to the show.
Ow! You don't just dump chemicals into a beaker willy-nilly. Well, I'm tired of all the waity. Let's get to the dumpy.
What? So this show is about 4 quadruplets, which is how that works in case you didn't know. And they all have very different wackadoo personalities. Wow, can you believe it?
Yeah, I'm not wrong. There are 4 quadruple, and each one got their own personality and their own way of doing life.
Is the hot-headed, know-it-all tomboy.
This is the 3rd time this month we've been called away from the store to come pick you kids up.
Sounds like quality family time to me. Am I right? Up top.
Ricky is the sensible, smart, try-hard kid with way too many sweater vests.
I'm sorry if I care about my grades. And I'm sorry if I don't.
Dicky is the hot one?
If I wear goggles, how the lady is gonna see my eyes? Hey, babe. Let's make science.
Sir, you are 10 years old. What is happening? Really makes you wonder how they hold auditions for roles like this. Like, what do you tell people? Oh, hey guys, I'm coming to a city near you looking for some hot 10-year-olds. Also, like, real talk, if your parents name you Dicky, they do not love you. And finally, we have Nicky, who sure looks a lot like the mom's yoga instructor, if you ask me.
Because we're their children. We're quadruplets.
Quadruplets? I look more like you two than him.
So as you can probably imagine, being siblings, they fight about everything. Cool. Each one of them thinks that they're right and they argue all the time, as literally every sibling ever does since ever.
It's their fault. Everything always has to be their way. Well, I'm sorry if I care about my grades.
And I'm sorry if I don't.
I'm sorry, I bit you all in the womb. Oh, you bit us in the womb, all right? Oh, come on.
Guys.
And I mean, trust me, I know a thing or two about this, okay? Because I have 3 older brothers, and after a while, you start to get pretty good at escaping from pagan ritual sacrifice. People who grew up as an only child will ask people with siblings what it was like, and then we all just get like Vietnam flashback 1,000-yard stares. And the thing is, like, this is literally just the entire show, though. Like, usually these shows have some kind of hook, right? Thundermans is about annoying superheroes. Henry Danger is about annoying superheroes. iCarly.
Like, he's not wrong. In some way, there could be a hook to Dicky Dawn. Like, Thunderman got a hook to it. Henry Danger got a hook to it. iCarly got a hook to it. So, like, it gotta be like some type of hook to Nicky Ricky Dicky Dawn.
It's just about siblings who fight, and like, that's it. It's actually kind of hard for me to make a video about, honestly. But anyway, so in the pilot episode, the dad owns this like sporting goods store, I think, and he finally gets this rare sports jersey that's signed by his favorite player. He's been looking for this thing for like years, apparently.
Behold, this jersey was worn by Brownie Wilson, fabled hero of the gridiron from days of yore. I searched long and hard for this jersey, and now she's mine.
Wow, decided and everything.
No one touches my number 2.
So then this lady comes in with a dog looking to be adopted, and the kids really want this dog, okay? But their mom knows that they're just gonna fight over it, no one's gonna take care of it properly, and then the dog's gonna grow up and be like, shut up, get out of my room, you're not my real dad. But like I said, the kids really want this dog, so they try to suck up to their mom.
Dad, you've always taught us that love means trusting each other. So if you really love us, isn't it time you trusted us? I trusted a dog is gonna give us worms. But he'll give us worms together. together.
Well, when you put it that way, who could say no? So their mom and dad let them do a trial run of taking care of the dog.
Wait,
and right after this, while arguing about some dumb kind of whatever, they knock their dad's jersey onto the floor, and then the dog pees on it.
Put
down your pea ears and step away from the jersey. So we're not giving up now. We may have failed each other, but for the first time in our lives, we need to think of something bigger than the four of us.
Well, that's not going to be too hard, because y'all about 3 feet tall, 17 pounds each. So they enact this crazy plan to try to wash the jersey, but then the signature gets washed off, so they try to copy it. And just like the whole time, they're trying to hide this from their dad. And would you believe that nothing goes quite right?
I was just doing a little research.
Thought it would actually go right when y'all did watch the show? Then y'all crazy. Cause y'all can tell it never go right.
On antique jerseys, and it turns out they fade if they're exposed to too much sunlight. It'll wash those days of yore right off your old number
make
2.
no sense.
I'm starting to sense a pattern here with this show. And like the whole time they're doing this, they're just beating the crap out of this older lady who works at the store. Nothing funnier to a 10-year-old kid than poop jokes and hitting old ladies with bats. And by 10-year-olds, I actually just mean me. And so in the end, they finally have to fess up and come clean and tell their parents what happened and accept whatever punishment may come.
Don't tell me you be hitting old ladies with a bat.
We thought we could clean it. So Nikki and I ran home, but you were there, so we had to go to the laundromat. We washed the signature off.
And then you showed up and I hit Hazel with snowballs.
You kept this from us all day? I am so
Are you happy
proud of
that
you.
they work together?
Yeah, this is not how my parents would react whatsoever. You know when parents say stuff like, you
parents
can always tell
react-
us anything.
Yeah, like that.
Trust me,
My
they
parents
do
would
not
kill me.
mean a word of that. It's like those parents who just decide to let their kids raise themselves. I never tell my kids no. They always know what's best for themselves. Then you cut to 10 years later, they're picking up their kid from her 4th trip to rehab. I'm doing a great job. But yeah, so they're allowed to keep the dog and everything is fine because they worked as a team or something.
You ruined Dad's jersey and tried to cover it up.
Yes, but you tried to cover it up together. You lied to us as a team.
The show is weird. But this brings us to the final episode of the show. A few episodes before this, Dickie ships himself off to Australia and he's no longer in the show. Now, the real life reason for this is because the actor wanted to do more serious artistic roles and not be in some dumb Nickelodeon show, because he's like 14 now, okay? But for the rest of the cast, Dawn's big issue is that her best friend May got accepted into a special prestigious boarding school.
Sorry I'm late, Dawn.
Yes,
I just got
you did.
accepted to Hawkcrest Academy. The boarding school that waitlisted you? Now they're the boarding school that unwaitlisted me. I'm so happy for you. When you start next year? Next week. You mean next week of next year? No, next week of next week.
And the problem with this, though, is that she's leaving in a week, and she's gonna have this new roommate who's probably gonna become her new best friend. And Dawn's having a bunch of 14-year-old feelings about all this.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's Amber, my soon-to-be roommate. Hi, Amber.
Hi, May. I can't wait for you to get to school. I saw our new room today, and it has bunk beds.
Bunk beds? Bunk beds?
Yeah, that is not a thing to be excited about, my dudes, okay? Like, bunk beds. Literal top 5 worst things ever
Now,
invented.
let me see. If it had a bunk bed that had like a bed on top and probably like a couch or something beside 2 beds together, I might be excited. But a regular bunk bed, who gets excited for that?
Dawn wants to have a bunch of first-time experiences with May because she's her best friend, and she doesn't want to give all that up to some ne'er-do-well at some
She don't want
hoity-toity
to get
boarding
that
school.
and she don't want to lose
Room in these
her friends.
Because I'm
The
in
maid
school
like
in a few days.
I know, and we're gonna be roommates
in
until
the
you
whole
know.
show.
This way, we're not only first best friends, we're also first roommates.
Dawn, I really don't have time for this.
You're right. We need to speed things up.
Yeah, come on, let's just speed our way through all this right now. First time, crying on a curb outside a house party because I wanted to flirt with Jake, but he was talking to Stephanie even though he made eye contact with me once in the hallway, but okay. First time, you telling me that it's weird to date a guy who's 25 when I'm 16, and I'm actually not that mature for my age, honestly. First time, finding a guy who's actually really good for me and would make my life so much better, but I sabotage it because I'm so used to dating toxic guys that I find this guy to be weirdly boring. So I end up going back to my ex who you told me to block and never talk to again. Girlhood. Yeah. And then like guy friendship first, it's like, the first time we sat on the couch for 4 hours and didn't say a single word. Now, while this is all going on, Nikki and Ricky set out to find her a new best friend because they know that if she doesn't have a friend to reel her in, Dawn's gonna spiral off into who knows what. So they try to do the impossible and talk to a girl.
Looks like I'll just have to turn on the old Ricky charm.
And here comes the dry lips. And now the sweaty palm.
Hi.
Okay, that was actually kind of funny.
God, if y'all get so nervous talking to a female like Ricky, then y'all got something to deal with. Cause there's no way you should get that nervous to talk to a female. Like, you gotta be confident of yourself and feel like, oh, you're ready and you got that confidence, right? Most of the time, it only be because when you get a fresh cut, you feel confident. Or when your life turn around, you feel confident. But you gotta feel confident everything.
That'll never work. They hatch a new plan to trick all the girls into thinking they're gonna be in a movie.
All right, time to get the audition started.
I still don't understand why you get to be the director.
I want
because I'm wearing the hat and the scarf.
For other reasons.
It's not even your scarf. It's
that
Dawn's.
Oh, so you think you can pull off wearing Dawn's scarf?
Well, I'm pulling off wearing her deodorant.
Oh, trust me, kid, we can tell. Girl deodorant smells
what?
like lavender and lasts about 15 seconds.
Yeah, you
and then guy deodorant
lie.
lasts for like 3 days and smells like a shark on a skateboard with a laser gun.
Yeah,
also,
boy,
shout out to the oldest plot in the book about like, hey, let's just lie to everyone and see what happens. It's always great when the plot of a show or a movie is like, what if we only thought 5 seconds ahead? And then you get like every rom-com ever made.
This is a tough decision for us. You both have your strengths. Marsha, your fearlessness, effort, Butler and Heated Pool have really set you apart.
And Danielle, the camera loves you. And your parents' yacht and private jet.
The heck kind of school do you kids go? Find the perfect girl.
1,000 years later.
When you put it like that, it sounds weird. But then, in the end, as you've probably already guessed, Dawn uses this girl's private jet and her gliding suit to fly into the airplane that May and her new roommate are using to skydive. I know, super cliche, right? And they both finally get to talking about their friendship and what they're feeling and all that dumb garbage.
It should have been me and you jumping out of a plane together. John, you and I would have never done this together. Why not? Because I'm scared to death. Skydiving actually seemed less scary than leaving you, my first best friend. John, you and I will always be firsties, forever.
Barf. You know, compared to this,
Firsty?
guy friendships are ridiculous. It's like, a guy could be another guy's best man at his wedding, and then it's like, yeah, I don't even know his last name. We were just both wearing the same Dragon Ball Z t-shirt at the gym, so...